Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day to you. That's depending where you are in the world. We're in London doing the nighttime devotion from the devotional Christ Triumphant. The title today: Jesus presented truth by using familiar objects. Matthew 13 verse 34. All these things spake Jesus unto the multitudes in parables. The great teacher proclaimed the truth to humanity, many of whom could not be educated in the schools of the rabbis, neither in Greek philosophy. Jesus uttered truth in a plain, direct manner, giving vital force and impressiveness to all his utterances. The rabbis and teachers had virtually shut up the kingdom of heaven from the poor and the afflicted and left them to perish. In his discourses, Jesus did not bring many things before them at once, lest he might confuse them. He made every point clear and distinct. Christ was the originator of all the ancient gems of truth. Through the work of the enemy, these truths had been displaced. They had been disconnected from their true position and placed in the framework of error. Christ's work was to readjust and establish the precious gems in the framework of truth. The principles of truth that had been given by himself to bless the world had, through Satan's agency, been buried and had apparently become extinct. Christ rescued them from the rubbish of error, gave them a new, vital force, and commanded them to shine as precious jewels and stand fast forever. Christ himself could use any of these old truths without borrowing the smallest particle, for he had originated them all. As Christ presented these truths to minds, he broke up their accustomed train of thought as little as possible. He therefore aroused their minds by presenting truth through the agency of their most familiar associations. He used illustrations in his teaching that called into activity their most hallowed recollections and sympathies, that he might reach the inner temple of the soul. Identifying himself with their interests, he drew his illustrations from the great book of nature, using objects with which they were familiar. The lily of the field, the seed sown by the sower, the springing up of the seed and the harvesting of the grain, the birds of the air, all these figures he used to present divine truth, for these would remind them of his lessons whenever they should afterward look upon them. Although Satan has misrepresented God's purposes, falsified his character, caused people to look upon God in a false light, yet through the ages God's love for his earthly children has never ceased. Christ's work was to reveal the Father as merciful, compassionate, full of goodness and truth. The only begotten Son of God sweeps back the hellish shadow in which Satan has enveloped the Father and declares, "I and my Father are one. Look on me and behold God." Jesus presented truth by using familiar objects. So basically, when Jesus was teaching, he used the things like fishing, farming, the fig tree, the lily of the valley. He used all the familiar things that the people were used to. Farming, fishing, as I said, He used everything, and this is what they were about. And as it was said here, all these people didn't go to the schools of the rabbis or learn Greek or anything like that. So they were left they're not being able to learn or read or anything, or from any of the schools or anything like that. So Jesus went there to teach everyone, anyone and everyone that was able to listen. And he used everything that he could think of that they would know and be able to relate to. So as he said, he would use the grass or the lilies. So every time he saw them, or the trees, every time the people saw them, they would remember the lessons he was teaching. The gospel was opened up to everyone and taught in such a way that everyone could be familiar with what he was saying and to understand it. And he did it very simply. He hadn't swallowed an encyclopedia. He gave it in plain language, just so they could all understand. And this is exactly how we should do it too. We should be familiar with who we are speaking to, preaching to, teaching. Be familiar in such a way as we can speak it and teach it in such a way that they will understand. God bless you.